with just you and I, is it possible, first of all, greetings everybody, it's just Jim Harvey and Mike Anthony on the call right now. As I say, I'm letting others use this teleconference service because it does help U of M, and I would like to transition to IEEE. The IEEE web conferencing guy hasn't called in, and frankly I've been out of town and unable to help with them. But is there anything we need to do right now? I mean, it's you and Bill are the chairman and co-chairman.
I think the conference, we got the contract. I think the committee is in abeyance right now. We did all we needed to do right now. We got the contract modified per all the comments I got, and I sent that to IEEE, and IEEE is working on getting the final contract back to Marriott. So the contract is the big thing right now, and we did all we can do and need to do. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. By the way, we had 4 concurrent sessions for some reason in Detroit. We only need 3, so I changed that. I don't know how we had 4 concurrent sessions.
I don't.
Normally, we only have 2, and with the E&H committee, we were going to go to 3, but not 4. I don't know why she put on 4. Did you have 4 on yours?
Well, this is the only thing that. This is the only thing I personally have.
You got rooms A, B, and C. Yeah, 3 rooms, not.
So remember, I think we didn't. There was no disagreement about the 3 rooms. I don't know where 4 rooms came along, but what was in play was, could this be 1 room, for example, and then could, I guess, is there a whole hotel room? Would there be a complimentary room? How do you deal with this?
We get 1 complimentary room for every 4 we sell.
Oh.
Every 40 we sell.
Every 40? Okay. So, okay. Well, that might be worth putting on this. Let's see, here we are. Okay, so that's 1 room for every, today is what, the meeting number 14? That'll actually be on the, 1 room for every 40 we sell, okay. 1 complimentary room, 1 complimentary room for every 40 we sell. Okay, that's something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you're saying, so in general, committee is in abeyance until when? When's the next, in general, committee is in abeyance? Committee is in abeyance. I spell that right? Until when?
Well, I think the next thing the committee's got to do is put some kind of PowerPoint presentation together before Calgary, so we can put something on at the awards lunch and sort of tell people, about our conference in 2016. So we got at least a few months before we have to get that PowerPoint put together.
Okay.
Actually, they didn't do that at the IAS meeting this time, did they? They normally tout the next conference. They didn't even mention the next conference committee. I don't know where the next IAS is.
It's in Addison, Texas.
Is that in Is it going to be in Texas? But they didn't have it. Okay. Well, that shows you how little was said about it. I forgot about it.
Well, I don't think they actually knew where it's going to be, so let's do this. Oh, we have to watch our language, Jim. We have a visitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is me.
Hey, how you doing, Wei-Jen?
Hi. Yeah, that's an old number, and my cell phone is kind of strange. When I push the access code, they add 0.
It does.
In the middle, every digit I punch, I add a 0 inside, so they always give me a wrong one.
So that means if you're calling from your cell phone, you're not able to see the screen?
Well, I'm using that.
Okay. All right.
I'm using the computer now.
Oh, okay, excellent. So I just want to know how much we should talk about. I don't see you on quite yet, but maybe
I'm on.
you're on?
I'm on.
Oh, I see. Very good. Okay. So we just discovered that. Okay, I hope that goes away.
So our next meeting at IAS is in Dallas then. Okay.
Looks like we're still getting feedback from Wei-Jen, so I'm sure he'll fix that up. I can also mute him. How about if I mute him? Does that help? Let's see. Okay, so that will be in October of 2015. Is that what I see here? Do we actually have the date?
Yeah, it says 18 to 22.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. 18 through 22. Okay. So we have that. Wei-Jen, I'm going to see if we've got the... Yeah, okay. I'm going to tell you, Wei-Jen, if you...
Why don't you send him an email asking him to redial in?
If you could mute, it would help.
Yeah, I mute my phone, but
Or otherwise, call in again.
yeah, I'm fine now. I'm fine now.
You're caught there in infinity, at least from where we're at, Wei-Jen. What I'll do, okay, looks like you're better off now. So we were just... Jim, are you still hearing the feedback? I am?
Yes.
Okay, so I keep trying here, and it looks like, Wei-Jen, that when you want to talk, just send me something in the chat box down here, and then I can unmute you. Okay, maybe it's gone. Maybe he's muted himself. Okay, so we have a... No, that's really bad. All right, we have to, I'm sorry, Wei-Jen. I always hate to do that. Okay, so we need to get this on our calendar. Is there anything that we do, at that meeting? Oh, here we are, okay. It's the home base.
Well, at the IAS meeting next year, we could try to get a part of a session or a session for our committee again. But that'll be planned. Yes. We'll plan that when we're in Calgary.
Yeah. So this is where these called the EHA committee. I explained it's going to be a twice-a-year conference for everybody. So that's just budget accordingly. Needing a statement. So I'll just say a presence again. Okay. So where were we? So we need a PowerPoint. So our next deadline would be we need a PowerPoint for the Calgary meeting.
Actually, our next deadline is, and that's what I was talking about, is, to be blunt, Mike, I'm so far behind I can see my rear end. If you and I could get together face-to-face next Tuesday or Wednesday and try to come together with all the stuff that you prepared and all the stuff that I prepared and just get it all in one email so I can get back to Kent. Because he sent me an email saying we need some input exactly on the panel discussion and the abstracts and such on the papers.
How about
regarding the papers, I got those two papers that I got from our consultants. They're both dealing with hospitals. I'm toying with the idea of taking them out of power system engineering session per se and put them in our E&H session. But those are the kind of things we got. If we could sit face to face, I think we could make better progress.
You want to do lunch then?
Possibly. Let me. I don't know if my computer. I lost something on my computer. I can't get to my. Oh, there it is. Let's see.
On the 5th?
Yeah. No, I was thinking next week if possible.
I'm going to keep.
How am I? There's my calendar. So, like possibly the 28th.
Oh, let's see. You want to do it sooner? What do I look like?
Well, I would like to get back to Kent He sent me the email yesterday. I would really like to send him something early next week. If it's possible. If it's not, I'll fake it somehow.
So how many sessions you guys want to have?
In Calgary, we were thinking the one session for some papers and either a part session or a full session. Probably a part session for a panel discussion. Are panel discussions usually a whole session, Wei-Jen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. The panel session with. No, is that going to be different than the NFPA IEEE one with Mark Early?
Because if you have a panel session in 1 hour, it's kind of too short. Is that right?
Well, let's see. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing. Jim has a panel session that might want to deal with E&H committee, but remember, for the past 2 years, we've had a joint NFPA IEEE meeting.
Yep.
So that would be a separate session, and that's where we would continue the coordination of the DOT standards with the NFPA 70 series.
Well, when you look at this one here, what you can do is if you want to just use half of the session, that you might put in two panels. One is the NFPA 70. The other one is for E&H.
Okay. All right. So then all right. We're contributing a fair amount of content already. So.
But Mike, when we had our NFPA sessions, it wasn't a full session. Full session is what, about 3 hours, Wei-Jen?
It's for 3.5. Actually, it's a big, because it's from 8 o'clock
until 11:30.
Until 12. But then you have a 30-minute break.
Right. I'm just thinking that our NFPA sessions weren't that long. They were possibly a half a section, weren't they, Mike?
Well, they were an hour and a half.
Okay, then that would be great, because on that way you can have, say, okay, well, from the 8 to 10, then you have one session, and then from 10:30 to 12.
12 will be the other panel session.
That from 10:30 to 12, you can have an NFPA 70 one.
Yeah, I think that makes a better sense, because I don't think either panel session will have enough content to productively use the full 8 to 12 time frame.
Okay. All right. So as you can see, I'm writing right here. Then we'll have a half session on E&H, and then we'll have 70 series there. So those we'll talk about the 3 documents. I will try to get the committee chairman on the call also.
Okay.
Right. So we know that Mark Early is 70E. He says Mark Early is 70. That's NFPA 70. I'll find out who is 70E. Geez, 70E. And I'll also find out who is 70B.
Well, while Mike's typing, Wei-Jen, what Mike's putting in a number of proposals for getting the 3000 series in references into the 70, 70E, and 70B as appropriate. Who would you recommend I talk to, Lisa, on the list of all currently approved standards or standards that are estimated to be approved by next, what would you say, middle of next year?
Yeah, Lisa will be a good person.
Okay, because that way we can tailor the proposals that Mike's going to put in that would address things already published or should be published by the middle of next year. Make sense, Mike?
Yeah. I thought can you both see what I just did here?
I see you did something. I got to put my the type is so small.
Are you able to see this, Wei-Jen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is I already put it in, right? We're not talking about stuff anymore. We're just doing it. So here's what I did. I took this is the existing reference in the National Electrical Code that's referring to 241 and 141. I said
that red book and the brown book.
Yeah, right. So I said take it out and put this one in here. So we don't know what X will be, but down here I say blah 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 blah.
Okay, so the good one, okay, probably the best way, Jim, send it to Kerry Cook.
To Kerry?
Yes.
I've been talking to him about almost 4 years. I've never received a response from him on this. I'm just letting you know. So it's not like I'm not trying to step on any toes here, but at some point you have to put stuff on paper. So
I know, but he is the TPCC chair.
Okay. All right. Well, I can, I didn't do this. I submitted this in the name of this committee here.
Okay.
I could just as easily made it a U of M. Or I could have made it an APA one because I do have APA's vote, but at the moment I just want to get an idea on the table. And this is I did 3 of these already. There's 21 committees, and I'm going to do 18 more.
Mike is a subcommittee. It's not a committee.
Yeah, I know. I get that, and I do say that down here. I do say that down here. I recognize that, but in the larger world, the practical effect is that it's a committee, whether it's a subcommittee. So here's what I said on this, just so you know. Oops, excuse me. I'll show you. I do recognize that. On my website, I indicate it down here. So let me get you here. So this is where we talk about this. But way down here, this committee, which starts out as a subcommittee, and abbreviated blah, 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 will meet 2 times a year.
Okay.
So we'll start rolling it out here, and we'll do more here. I guess I can now add this because I didn't have this information before. And then we talked about Giuseppe stuff here. So this is the main, and these are the ideas. Remember, guys, that I'm hoping to spend most of my time getting ideas together because I get paid. I get paid for getting the ideas on there. So if we're lucky to get half of these, I still think it would be a successful conference. So I know a lot of these ideas did not come from me. They come from other people around the country. So anyway, so we're not starting from scratch. We do have a visible presence. Now, you raised a point about, and since I'm on the website, again, I'm using a U of M. I'm using my site. I have 2 websites for U of M, and I do a lot of different things here. I do things with custodial services, for example. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm doing stuff with the state construction code, for example. So I just consider this as just another one of my advocacy projects. But strictly speaking, I would really like to have an IEEE website dedicated only to the EHE subcommittee. That's ideal. But if it's too political, I can easily keep it on a U of M website for a while. But
I think we probably should keep it on U of M through Calgary. After Calgary, I'm hoping we can get an IEEE site.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, good. So that's a decision.
What was I going to say? Damn it. Oh, you had that website up about the Michigan codes, Mike?
Yeah, yeah, just a minute. Let me write this down. We will build the EHE committee website on IEEE after Calgary.
Yeah, I would say that we have a better chance and a better opportunity after Calgary.
So then we will use the U of M hosting service. Okay. All right. So it's going to look a bit different now. I'm going to let you know here. Here's what it's going to look like. It's going to shock some people, but this is the new. These are the websites that I'm working on right now. So they're up to the moment. They're fast moving, and they look really different than IEEE stuff. This is the template we're working with. So the template will have a middle part here where we have graphics. Now, this is not the. Remember, we're going to be putting electrical stuff up on here. Okay. Okay. And so it'll be a multimedia. We'll have a multimedia. I didn't do it, but it's going to be. I have the advantage of having a a very good web development staff, and I have I have our business school and all these things. So I'm just getting people used to the idea that when we, well, at least in my vision is, and obviously you're my colleagues on this, is that we use web technology as best we can, and we'll start out, and maybe I can't expect IEEE to do that because that's a different type of template. See, what all this is, it's a generic, it's called a content management systems, and it's called a CMS system service. Okay, so even though they look like cool websites, they're really actually just content management system services. There's a lot of companies in that space right now, but when you come back with a website that looks like this, you're telling a story. You're just barely aware that Facebook exists, because this goes back to the middle 90s, and that's the message you send to your vendors and other people and other younger people who want to get in here, is that these guys, yeah, you have all this cool stuff here, but this type of arrangement doesn't convey being up to the moment.
Doesn't give the right of presence.
Right. So just letting you know.
Okay.
I'm not too I don't want to be too strident about it. Oh, my guy put some new stuff in. So every time, so remember, since the time we started this call, my guy put in a new. Remember what I try to do here. These are black and white for a good reason. I don't want to get anybody involved in their school colors. So to avoid school colors, I put everything in black and white, because I want to work very well with the University of Texas, for example. I don't want to deal with U of M colors versus Texas colors. So anyway, I interrupted you, Jim. You had a point to make.
Well, I was just going to say, one time you were talking about you were going to try to get me on the Michigan Electric Code Committee. Is that dead?
Oh yeah, no. Actually, I talked to Governor Engler about that yesterday.
Really?
Remember Governor Engler? That's why I was in Washington.
Well, I got a couple people say it might be easier to get some of our NEC things through if we can get it into the Michigan Code. And after then we make the proposal to NEC, we can say, oh, it's already in the Michigan Code.
Oh no, yeah, we work from both ends. It's just that it's time rationing on my part.
No, I understand.
I have an obligation to the to the industry. So since I'm on panel 1, I'm sorry to say this is my 8th cycle, and I still don't have help
From other universities?
Right. We're going to try again with Ryan Giorgio over at Oakland, but now his boss is saying, gee, this takes a lot of time, doesn't it? So we got a larger problem of this is hard work, and you don't have anybody just do it. So that's a separate discussion. So in any case, I'd love to work with the state of Michigan on that one, and that would be a great way to vet some of these ideas early on, and to show that if what you can't get through the national standards, you can get through a state standard. And now I shall tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
Wei-Jen, does the state of Texas have its own electric code variation, or does it just use the national electric code?
Well, probably on the National Electric Code.
I'm sorry.
National Electric Code.
National Electric Code?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Michigan always takes variations, takes the National Electric Code and makes changes.
Yeah, having been on the committee for one cycle, they're very shy of taking exceptions. Their lawyers say if you take exceptions, that makes it, you better have the technical data, and of course we do. But we also have a they feel we're not dealing with folks that like to try the new stuff first. They'd rather have California do it, and then once California does it, everybody else does. So there's another point to the suggestion you make. Is that all right? If we can vet it through Michigan and see all objections, the usual objections are going to be, well, that's the way we've always done it. The NEC is a good document. If you change it, you'll break it. All that kind of stuff. So it's a good way to keep ourselves limber and agile, because there'll be no end to the challenge. They will, you know how it is.
Yeah. Do other states have their own variation of the National Electric Code? Do you know, Wei-Jen?
Oh yeah, Carolina does and Minnesota does.
I don't know.
Yeah, Carolina takes a wholesale. In Massachusetts, the land of Fred Hartwell, for example, I don't know the specific issue that we're dealing with. And I guess since you mentioned that, that's one of the reasons I was in Washington. I don't want to run you through too much of this email, but I did make some rather significant. Here's what I did. I talked with Evan Gaddis, the outgoing CEO of NEMA, and I told him, I got his attention by telling him, I published twice in your journal, right? So I told him about a research project, and he seemed interested. If I can ever get this thing to come up, and he now is on the NIST. He is now on the NIST. See how long it takes to come up. He's on the NIST Foundation. They might be able to push some money our way. I did meet with NEMA back a year and a half ago with Paul Kemp at Notre Dame, and I said I basically, you know what, something, Wei-Jen, I even mentioned you in this email. Look at this. I think I even mentioned you because you had said that some smart grid information might be ready, right? So I put you in this email also because that might take the cost of the project from. So this is, I didn't want to use Bob Arno because, he does defense work and stuff. So I mentioned that Bob estimates we need $1.5 million, but because Wei-Jen said we might be able to, oops, I got to get, I'm sorry, I did that. That we would.
Information off the meters?
Well, there were at least some feeders. If we, whatever smart grid might be able to, some of that information, no, you'll have, that might be a different discussion about how we able to get branch circuit and feeder wiring. I'm gonna pull that up because it's not coming up quickly. So here's the research project. Okay, and however we get this data, to go back. Now remember, the specific part we're trying to change is right here, right?
Yes.
That's what we're trying to change. And when we do that, we probably, on average, can take those transformers, those probably 10 to 33%. So when you do that, that's not trivial, right? So in addition, you have a safety hazard here. So Peter Strasdis is one of our, he's a mayor and he's also a big APA guy. We might be able to get NIST if we can get Fred. Peter and Fred know each other. I'm not sure what the relationship is, but Peter likes to go to Fred's office a lot. And then another thing.
So what is NIST? I don't know what NIST is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
National
NIST is it's the National Institute of Science and Technology.
Okay.
And yeah. So what they do is they give money out to do stuff, and we just have to sell them on the idea that the Article 220.14, the 180 VA per outlet, needs to be scaled back a bit for certain types of occupancies. And so that's the deal there, and we can't do that, as you know, Jim, because we don't have the data yet.
Right.
And we also have to be brave. This could also be failed. We could be wrong. We could be wrong. Then somebody else has to tell us why our 225 amp panels are picking up only 50 amps. I'm willing to be wrong, but somebody better explain to me why those 225 amp panels are so underloaded.
Right.
So anyway, since you mentioned that, so I believe that this whole, I didn't want to put you all through this, but so I'm getting a little more optimistic because I'm talking to all the right people, and it does help to have the NEMA. It does help to have NEMA helping, but he couldn't make any promises. Everybody's trying to hit him up for money. So, but I did remind him. That they're twice their size as NEMA. So usually those guys talk in billion-dollar chunks. So so that's the story.
Well, that's good news. Can I change the subject slightly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wei-Jen, do you think We were talking before you got on the line of what needs to be done with 2016. I think I copied you on it. We sent the contract off to ICPS, so I think we did as much as we can do at this time. But in the past, didn't we have PowerPoint presentations of the next conference?
Yes.
Saying, so like at Calgary, would we be wise to have some kind of a PowerPoint about what's going to be going on here in Detroit? You think?
Yes, you can. What you can do, I did not do it in Stone Mountain.
Okay.
Because I was informed that I had to run the 2014 conference at the Stone Mountain.
No, you were okay.
Yes, so in your situation, you might be able to prepare a PowerPoint and offer a flyer at the registration desk.
Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding. So you're thinking?
Well, announcement. You can. What you can do here is you can prepare a PowerPoint.
Okay.
And also announcement or a flyer, one-page flyer in the registration desk at the Calgary.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So you're affirming what I'm thinking we needed to do. So that's our next task probably. So, all right. Mike, I got to get going to another meeting pretty soon. Is there anything else we need to do right now?
Well, I don't know. As I say, I've sort of taken on the burden of trying to get this E&H committee going. Just a quick one. When I was in Geneva in July, August, I talked with the editor here. Where's her name? Gabriella, and she will publish an announcement. She will publish. Here's my editor there. She and I actually wrote a paper a year and a half or so ago, but APA didn't want to publish it for political reasons, of course, and so she's come around and she will allow us page space in this journal to announce the IEEE, our new committee.
Wonderful. That's good. Good news.
All right.
Okay.
So
yep.
Maybe we can co-author it, but I'll keep you guys in the loop on this because she was very interested in this because of the size of our industry. And I should also let you know that Rich and I are publishing another paper with the International Standards Organization. I think you might have seen it here earlier. But we try to say that, in fact, this can go on our website. But so this is 1,500 words. It'll go into the ISO journal, and so we'll get some fair amount of. But ultimately, I'm not getting press. I want to get ideas on paper, and I get a little bit crabby and nutty when I don't see proposals going out. So, this is what I do. This is what I do. I want to do a lot of this because this is what is called the product, and somebody has got to do the goddamn product. We can't talk about it all the time. We got to get ideas on paper. We got to match them up with data. If we're wrong, we lick our wounds. We go back, look for more data, and just keep trying to drive this stuff in. I think that's what we need to do. So I'm talking like a product guy here. We've got to have something to sell, and I believe that by pairing up the 3000 series with as many places in the NEC as possible will help. Will help both sides.
Okay. I'll see what I can find out from Lisa and others so we can get that moving, Mike. Okay?
Well, I'm just going to keep writing proposals,
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so
well, at least I'll be able to possibly give you the right standard number instead of having that point X. If I give you the right standard number, that would help.
No, in this particular case, I'm referring to many of them. They actually are. Look at this. No, there actually are numbers here. Do you see that? Okay, now, how we deal with this. So they took those two books and they sliced them into these. You see the 1.6. You see the 1.5. There's no problem with the topical material.
Okay.
But how do we deal with that? Maybe we just say it's the 3001 series. We get rid of the X.
Possibly.
Maybe
But
that's
I got to get you hard copies of all these so you can give them the NFPA,
you
right?
do. Yeah. Not only that, it turns out NFPA only wants hard copies because I'm guessing they're fearful that electronic copies would go all over the country quickly, and that they would lose revenue because of that. So I guess we have to be mindful of that. So I would like to see as many of the hard copies, and I think I did copy Lisa on this. She should know that PDS will not work.
Okay. I will follow up with her, Michael.
Okay. So I guess I'll still hold I hold the Saturday if somebody else wants to come in and talk a little bit and what they know, but I'll still keep the open line tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30. I may be working around the house in the garage cleaning stuff, and if I hear somebody online, then I'm happy to talk to people or let other people talk to each other. So this is basically a chat room I'll hold twice a week for people.
Thank you.
Yeah? Okay.
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 Have a
All
good,
right.
yeah, bye-bye.
Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.